So today we have this Game Boy Advance SP. I've already tried changing out the battery, and when I charge it, it's just doing the orange light and then it goes off. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but I suspect it could just be like a bad fuse. But we're not going to know until we really take this thing apart. So I'm going to go ahead and take this back cover off first, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so I got the back cover off, all in one piece. Let's go under the microscope and take a closer look. This is pretty gross. Just look at that power switch. Crunchy. I hope I don't know if someone tried spraying WD-40 in there. I almost wonder if it's just like a bad power switch, but let me go ahead and clean this off and I'll be right back. Okay, well, I cleaned it off. I think the first thing I want to look at, this is the fuse that's coming from the charging port. Let's just see if that's getting continuity. If we're able to get continuity through it, we know that the fuse is not bad. I suspect this fuse will be fine because we're getting a light for a second. Interesting. So there should be another fuse around the battery. Let's see where it goes. Flips to the other side. So I might have to take the board out. It's my first time working on one of these. So, and the fact that it's not powering on, perhaps it's something there. So let me take the whole battery, the whole PCB out. Alright, here's another fuse. This was on the other side of the board, like I thought it would be. That seems fine as well. So let's move on and see if there's any other fuses and where those might be. Actually, we can go ahead and check these filters. That's fine. Okay. That looks fine. Let me see if I see anything else. So I noticed there's another filter. So if we look, there's C61, which is sideways, which is this, and then EM7, which is going to be this next one. So just make sure that's okay as well. Cool, that's fine. So it looks like all of the fuses checked out, all the filters checked out. So I'm going to try just reflowing the pins on this here, the charging port, and we'll see if that helps. Okay, let's see if that helped at all. So that definitely didn't do anything. The other thing I want to look at is this power switch. So it's interesting because it's almost like a potentiometer. I'm just curious if that's working properly. Just want to see if I get any continuity. Oh, let me change this to the right mode. Yeah, seems like the power switch is also working fine. Not sure what that component does. Okay, so we'll have to figure something else out. Let me think about this for a minute. So I found something. This is really exciting, actually. I'm so glad I found this. Let me show you. So I thought, okay, I've seen this issue with the DS before, and it's interesting. Sorry, I'm just pouring alcohol out to clean this area. But I've seen this issue with the DS before, and usually it's a connection issue with the battery. So usually it's the fuse that blows. But because this DS was so dirty, here's what I did. So let me go back to that fuse that we were checking before. It was this one. This was the one that goes to the battery. If I come down, follow the... Look at that. Look at that. Completely corroded. Just in that spot. So I think we have our fix in order. I'm gonna get this on my board jig. And we're gonna fix this because this is awful. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, so I've got this on my board jig, and this really does kind of hit home this idea that, you know, it's a good idea to do a thorough and physical inspection before doing anything. You know, I could have started replacing a bunch of components. I just started with the simple stuff. But it really is the way to go. Just focus on the stuff that you can see. And this was, you know, once I followed the trace and I just said, let's just start from the battery and work our way back. There it is. All right. We get some flux. And I'll heat up my iron and we'll tin that. And we'll get some, I'm going to do 2 jumper wires. Just one for each via, just because I think it's meant to have it for that amount of power. Okay, I'll be right back when my iron's ready. Brilliant. I'm going to get some wire. I think I might be able to use some of this thicker wire. Let's try it. I just want to see if it fits through the hole. If it does, then that's what I'm going to use, because these traces are already so thick. Doesn't quite fit. Let me try scraping it down a little bit. Maybe it'll fit. Okay, I've scraped it. I'm going to use the tip of my tweezers. Yeah, that's going to be great. Nope. too big. Let's try a different wire. So here's one that's a little bit thicker. I'm going to cut it in half so I have two. Maybe this hole just isn't cleared out. That hole is really corroded. I don't know why. I need like a super fine point needle or something. I just don't have one that small. You know what, I'm going to flip the board over. I'm going to poke this from the other side. Maybe I can get something all the way through. So I just realized something. The via is coming in right under this cartridge port, so I'm not going to be able to go through that way. So I'm thinking maybe I'll run a jumper wire and come around this side and go directly to the power switch. I'm pretty sure that's where it goes, but I'll have to double check. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if I can find any information or schematics on this. So I did some research on YouTube, and I looked at cartridge slot replacements to try to see if I could find a picture or something showing the slot off, and I could see that it does eventually go to this spot over here. Let's see if I can point it. D1. So this is where we need to go to with our jumper wire. If we can solder a wire directly to D1, then we should be good to go. And you can see it's the same double via for the current. So I'm just going to scrape a little bit of this away. I'm going to put a solder blob right there. And we'll just run one wire. It'll be really neat on one side instead of doing both. Let me heat up my iron and get a wire, and we'll be right back. Alright, got my iron tinned. Nice. I don't even know why I scraped. I could have just used that connection point. That's fine. Let me go ahead and add the wire. That looks great. Let me trim this a little shorter, and we'll try again. I'm at a better angle. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then we're going to route the wire. I want it to stay in place. So I think I'm going to use this little capacitor as a leveraging point. I'm going to shoot across. Let's see. I'll leave a little slack. Let's curve around this component. Let's see, where are we going? We're going right over there. So we're almost there. There, so we got our cutoff point. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get the shielding off, and we'll go in and fix that up. Actually, first, before I do anything, I just want to verify that there isn't continuity, because otherwise maybe I'm fixing nothing. But I'm pretty sure that's it. So I'm going to put one here, I'm going to put the other end on the diode. Nothing. And there should be. So I'll go ahead and do that. Alright. Put a little bit more solder on my tip. Let's try that again. I just want to make sure it's completely solid. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm going to put this back in the shell and we'll test it to see if it's doing anything different. So I just want to show now when I'm plugging it in, we get the charging, we get the green light, and it's not shutting off. So it looks like running that jumper wire did work. And just to show you, so it was the voltage line that went to the fuse, and I soldered it to what's marked as D1 on the bottom left hand of the PCB. So if you do have the same issue, and neither of the fuses are bad, check that connection with a multimeter. Let's put this back together and test it out, see if it's still working. Alright, moment of truth. The battery, I confirmed with the multimeter, it does have 3.9 volts. Let's see if, oh. I didn't get that power switch in place. Take the battery out. I haven't. All the way down. Make sure that's all good. Put the battery in. Let's see. Hey. Let's see if the volume works. No sound. I'll try cleaning that speaker up next and we'll see if we can get sound working, but we know that the Game Boy itself is working so far. So what I did is I took the speaker out and I bent those pins up. I'm going to see if that helps make a better connection, and we'll see if we get sound now. And I went ahead and put one of the screws in to help with that contact pressure. Let's see. Put the battery in. Let's get a test game too. I want to see if the cartridge slot works. Ooh, it's crunchy. And nothing with the cartridge. Let's try that again. Huh. Still no volume. Backlight works. And the cartridge slot doesn't work. Oh, maybe just inserting it and taking out in and out a few times. I saw something come up there, but it was corrupted. No. Try having the cart almost in. Oh, hey. That's working. Okay, so it did load the game. Focus. Focus, focus. Don't know if the controls are working. Oh, okay. Controls are working. We just don't have sound. So let's... Oh, and it just froze. Okay, I'm going to take a closer look underneath the microscope again. We'll see if I missed any connections or anything. It seems like it's working, it's just iffy. Okay, I can do iffy. So I noticed that I accidentally bridged these pins. So I'm going to clean that up. Could be causing issues with the sound if that's part of like the sound driver. So that might explain it. I don't know if that's causing the issues with the cartridge, but let's go ahead and just there. Does that look better? Let's clean up. Let's see. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. The other thing I'll go ahead and do is, I guess I'll just make sure the volume slider's clean because it's really gross. So I'll go ahead and clean that now. Sliding it back and forth. Keep dropping crap. Okay. I'm going to put this back together and we'll test again. So I just wanted to show, I went ahead and took the volume slider off and it was pretty gross. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best to just kind of clean that out from the inside, because I wasn't having much luck just putting alcohol in and hoping for the best. I wasn't really doing anything. And then even if you just look at this connector, it's gross. Like I'm probably gonna need to scrape that. It was so dirty in there. So I'll go ahead and clean that up as best as I can. I'll throw it back together and we'll see if that helped. Alright, so I did that cleanup on the switch, I put it back together, and we got sound. The backlight works, games work. I went ahead and I reflowed the cartridge slot because it was still iffy, but I think it was just a cold joint. Check it out. Awesome. The sound still like cuts out if I press on it. I'm not sure exactly why. But, you know, I'm pretty happy with this as it is. I will be doing more with this Game Boy later on. So I'm going to do a part 2. I'll see if I could figure out what's going on with that the speaker thing. When it's like squished together, or if I screw the board down then the sound doesn't work anymore. So we'll figure out what's going on there. Alright, until next time, thank you for watching, and have a great day.